This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so hope you people are attend my demo session also. So if you are not attend my demo session, so I will share that recording session, so you can go through it. If you have any questions, you can ask. So before starting today's session, so do you have any open questions, guys? So anybody have any open questions related to MuleSoft? So why it is exactly MuleSoft? Why this much of boom getting into the market? So do you have any open questions you can ask, guys? If you don't have any questions, I will start the session today. First session. Yeah, go ahead, Santosh. If you have any open questions, you can ask. I can't able to hear you. Maybe you are speaking, Santosh. Santosh. Santosh, can you text me? Can you chat? There is a GoToMeeting chat is there. You can post your question also if you're not able to listen. Yeah. Okay. Can you post your question? I will answer that one. Okay, sure.
Nine years of experience in web methods.
This conference will now be recorded.
So it's also like an integration tool.
Okay.
So this web methods will runs on integration server. It is like a web, MuleSoft also running on behind on any other component.
MuleSoft run on cloud actually. So there is a server is there, like we have in the
Okay.
Java, Tomcat, WebLogic, WebSphere, JBoss, JBuilders, like that servers we have. So here we have a Mule runtime server, right? So in the server, once you done your code, you have to deploy into your either it's a on-premises or else cloud or else hybrid cloud. So there are three ways of deployments are there. So you can deploy anywhere in the server. So it will the server should run 24 by 7. So then whenever you request it, so according to your logic, you will get the response. So where web methods will run? Lost the topic.
Integration.
Integration.
It's integration server. It's a separate component. If this integration server runs, then only other components will work. We need to run the server manually every day.
Uh-huh. So here
It
it's
stops.
not like that actually. So it's like a Java boss. Java, how Java will work. So once you done your code, right, you simply deploy into the server, right? You have to start the server. So whenever server is up and running, so you can request it, you will get the response like that. How Gmail works or else how Facebook works. Similarly here also. Okay. So
We
any
should
other?
have a Java background for this.
No, not much required. So there is a concept called collections, right? So in core Java there is a collections concept, like what is
Okay.
meant by map, what is meant by list, what is meant by set. That is enough actually. But because here we are always playing with the data. So there is a source system will share the data, or else they will consume our API, or else we will pull the data. Right? It's based on the business logic. So whatever the data format is, we have to try to understand the format. Maybe they will send array list of objects they will send it. Right? So you have to analyze the data, what format you are getting. So based on that, you have to iterate it, or else you have to enhance the data. You have to filter the data. So kind of to donkey kind of work actually, filtering, enhancement, and then enrichment. So these kind of manipulation will do in the middleware. So then how the target system will expect it. So that format we have to prepare it. So then we have to send to the target system. That was the middleware work. I was explaining in the recording actually. There is a what is meant by this is one of the ESB, right? MuleSoft is one of the ESB. In the market, we have several ESBs are there. So this is one of the ESB. So what was the functionality of ESB? So it's an enterprise service bus. So the functionality of the ESBs are, so it's a kind of, it will hold the data. It will move on from the source to destination actually, right? So
Yes.
the name itself, if you see the Mule, so this is one of the ESB. Name itself says it's a donkey actually, right? In the earlier days, how we'll use the donkeys, right? So
Yeah.
people will hold the things on the donkey, so they will move from one place to another place, right? So like here also, it will take the data from source system, right? So apart from that, holding the data, we can do modifying, we can enrich it, we can whatever the business logic demand, we have to do that. And then once the target system expected format, if we convert it, we'll push the data into the target system. Actually, that was the ESB work here.
Got it. So we have a different types of environments, right? Dev, QA, and production.
Yes,
Do you
yes, yes, we have.
have?
So in the cloud, in our session, we'll clearly discuss about cloud environment, cloud deployment. Actually, that time I can show you. So what are all the environments in the cloud? Once you actually here two kinds of uh, editions are there. One is enterprise edition, other one is community edition. If you go for community edition, you no need to pay single penny to the Microsoft. If you go for enterprise edition, we have to pay something based on your subscription. You have to pay to the MuleSoft. So even community edition also, uh, there is a components are available, but whatever the enterprise edition components are like Salesforce connector, SAP connector, or else some enterprise connectors are available. So these are not available in the community edition. That is one thing. Another thing is there is no support from the MuleSoft. MuleSoft is not responsible for whatever the component you are using in the community edition. So if you go for enterprise edition, there is all connectors are available. There is no restrictions on that. And then 24 by 7 support also available actually. If you're stuck in somewhere, or if you're suddenly your server goes down, it's not working, so then you can raise a P1 kind of issue. So they will support us actually immediately. So that kind of support is there if you go for enterprise edition. So coming to your question, so you can free account also you can create 1 month trial version in the cloud. Okay, so you can free account you can see only sandbox actually. There is no different environments. If you go for enterprise edition subscription, you can see clearly multiple environments: dev, test, and then QA, and then production. Four environments you can see. You can simply switch off and switch on. So which environment you want to go there. So once you logged into your credentials, based on your credentials into the Cloud Hub, so then you can switch it accordingly from there itself. But earlier days, there is a different URL for each environment. But nowadays, last crowd version 2017 September, they released a crowd version upgrade. So after that onwards, so you can switch within a single URL. You can switch it actually based on your requirement. You can go production. You can go to dev, create, like that. You can go. Okay. Any other questions, guys?
No from my side.
Hello.
Not from my side.
Okay, that's all you
No,
right?
no.
Yeah, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to our regular session. Hope you guys are clear. So before starting, guys, be clear. So why you are learning MuleSoft? So why this much boom nowadays in the market? So many openings are there, guys. Frankly saying, as a trainer, I'm not saying like that. Actually, you can search in Google, you can search in Naukri. So many openings are there actually. So it's a MuleSoft is a nowadays it's a it's a people are not available actually. It's a people are less on the MuleSoft, so that's why companies are trying to convert whoever know about coding things like Java or some other things, some other technology. So they're trying to cross train the people. They are pushing to the project actually. Okay, so be clear on that. Whatever we are saying, whatever we are going to discuss it. So be clear on that. So every day, whatever we are going to discuss the topic. So please go through once again recording session. So come up with the next day with clear questions. So you can clearly discuss it with the practical oriented example, guys. Not only just I'm saying simply example with practical oriented where exactly the fit that particular topic, whatever you are going to discuss. Okay. So that kind of sessions we are going to discuss. Okay. Can it?
Thank you. Can we share our screen also if we ever
Yes,
stuck in?
yes, that's what I was saying that earlier. So if you have any questions, you can share your screen in the next day, right? If it will take more time, then after the session will continue because other people also waiting in the session, right? So I mean that will also useful to others also. If quickly, then I can resolve it on the spot itself, or else end of the session. Once you session complete, we'll continue that issue. We'll resolve it. Okay.
Okay.
So can you mute yourselves? Then if you don't have any questions, then we'll start the session. Guys, actually, in any technology, so Chandra, do you have any question?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Mute yourself. Uh, See, any technology, if you go for Java or else .NET or PHP or else AngularJS, whatever it is, so we need some tool to write the law, to write the code, right? So here, there is Anypoint Studio, guys. So I will tell you the clear where you need to download that one. I will share you the link. So go through there and again try to download it. So guys, actually here we are going to discuss about 3.9 version, right? That is currently all the companies are using, even we are also using same thing. 3.9 version, but 4.0 also released, 4.x also released. But it's not it's stable actually. People are trying to migrate it, so we are doing some POCs and all of that. So maybe once that gets stable, we'll migrate into 4.x, but still people are working 3.x. So that's why we are going to discuss about 3.9, and here two versions, guys. One is Anypoint Studio along with Mule runtime version. Right? I will share you the link. So just try to download it today itself. So the Anypoint Studio, if you not download, hope you people already downloaded. If you not download it, so just try to download it. So this is the link I just put into the chart. You can see that. So here, if you try to download in the Google, so the latest version 4.0 with Anypoint Studio 3.7, so you will get to download, guys. But so we are working on 3.9, so that's why. So you people also try to download same version. So whatever I shared the link, if you try to open the Google browser, so then you can get like this, guys. This is a screen you will get. Okay, so you can clearly see download Anypoint Studio 6.5 and Mule 3.9. Here is two versions are there. One is Anypoint Studio 6.5. This is just now I told you for writing the code, right, writing the logic. So we need some IDE, we need some interface, right? So that is nothing but a Anypoint Studio. Another one is Mule 3.9. So this is nothing but once you done your logic, so you need to deploy somewhere else, right? So you have to check your functionality is that working properly or not, right? Whatever we write business logic, right? That functionality we need to check it further. We need to deploy somewhere. So that is nothing but a Mule server. Okay. So here coming to Anypoint Studio, first one 6.5. So here this is nothing but there is a Eclipse, right? You people may be aware it. So Eclipse is a open source, guys. So anybody can contribute, anybody can add a plugin, anybody can modify it, right? So that is open source, right? So here, what millions of people did, so they take a basic version of, they took basic version of Eclipse. On top of that, so they implemented how they will, they want. So that way they customized it, guys. Right? So that's why whatever, if you can say look and feel also almost almost like a Eclipse, and then almost most of the shortcuts. So whatever the shortcuts you are familiar in Eclipse, so here also same shortcuts. Apart from that, some changes. So they customize it accordingly their requirement. So apart from that, but basic version is from Eclipse only. So that was the thing about Anypoint Studio. You can see all the menus, right? So in Eclipse also you can see all these menus: file, edit, source, refactor, navigate, search, project. These all things we can see. And then this is what we can call it as a perspectives, right? We can switch based on the perspective. So in the bottom you can drag and drop anywhere else, right? So wherever you want you can drag and drop it. You can switch the perspective, right? There's nothing but a perspective. You can change the look and feel, right? In Eclipse also same thing, right? So that is about Anypoint Studio. So coming to Mule 3.9. So once you download this one, it's not installable. It's simply configurable. So fill the information here, whatever they are expecting in the whatever I shared the link. So then hit into the browser, you'll get like this. So then select a product. In the drop down, choose 3.9 and Studio 6.5. Choose the second option and then check the I agree terms and conditions and then try to download it, right? So before this in your machine, Java 7 or 8 should be there in your machine with class path setting and all. Okay, so try to download. So either Java 7 or 8. If you click here, it will redirect to the Oracle website, right? There is a pop-up will come. It will redirect to Oracle website. So then go there and try to download it. It's better to download Java 8 version. Okay. So even 3.x 3.9 it will support Java 1.7 also. Okay. But in 4.0 it should be 8, guys. That's why it's better to download Java 8. Okay. So download the Java 8 and install it 1.8. Install it and set the class path and all. If you have any questions regarding setting class path and all, I will help you. Just ping me in WhatsApp. I will help you regarding that. Okay. Or else tomorrow session, if you're not able to set class path and all, I will help you to set that class path and all. So once you've done that part, so just try to download it and then this Anypoint Studio is not a installable, it's a simply configurable. Click the download, so you will get a zip content. So ZIP zip content you can get it. Unzip it, so you can see the once you unzip it, you can see the folder, right? Inside, go to inside folder. There is a shortcut is there. So open the shortcut, so you can see the shortcut uh, Anypoint Studio shortcut, right? You can double click on that. It will get started, guys. I'll just quickly show you that part also. Work softwares. So once you unzip it, you will get like this, guys. Anypoint Studio. So here is the shortcut you can see. Anypoint Studio shortcut. It will come like this. So just double click on it. So you can see this now. Double click on it. So it will open like this. Okay, first time it will ask the workspace also. Workspace is nothing but whatever you are going to write the logic or else create the project in future. So that will go and place into that particular workspace folder, right? Create a folder and then show that tab, right? Show that path actually, right? There is a switch workspace I'm showing quickly. So here it will come like this. Just show the path where you want to store all the program. Okay, it's nothing but a folder. Then it will open that particular workspace. So every day whenever you start the shortcut, it will ask that. There is a checkbox if you don't want to ask it. So then click the checkbox. It won't ask. Every day by default it will open that workspace. So that's all. Once you've done that, so then go to file and create a new project. There is a using this you can create a Java project also, but as of now we have to create a Mule project. So you can see the Java project creation also if required. And then so Mule project. If you click it, Mule project, it will open the pop-up again. The window will come. So you can see this. So you have to give the project name here. And then just now we spoke about runtime server, right? So 3.9 I said, right? Coming to here, I'm trying to explain that part. So here you can see in my mission I added multiple servers actually based on my requirement. So by default, you don't need to add these servers manually, and by default this 3.5 will come up with 3.90 guys. 3.90 in my mission there is an enterprise edition is there because I'm a subscriber. So you can add community edition as well as enterprise edition based on your requirement. Even you people also add enterprise edition server because 1 month trial version is there. So nobody stop you. You can download it. You can add it. And by default 3.90 will be there. Suppose in your requirement there is a required 8.0, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3 also. By default it won't get it. What you need to do, so we have to add by manually. So there is a plugin, the Mule server 3.8.3. So whatever the version required, we have to add manually that plugin. So how will add the manually? I'll just stop this window. So go to help. Guys, any questions?
Yes, Venkat, can I
Go.
add the other servers in a ID Mule, Anypoint Studio?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Suppose
explain.
if I want to add any Tomcat servers and all, can I add that?
Yes, you can add it. The support is there, but it's not required. If required, if business logic will demand, then you can add it, guys. We can apply our MuleSoft in Tomcat and Logic also, but I didn't write, but it should work.
Okay. Is there require any plugins and all and settings?
Yes, yes, plugin required now.
Okay.
So here there is a install new software
So
option.
there
Is
is no
there?
built-in server, other server.
There is no. By default, it won't get.
Built-in server.
No.
Okay. Fine. 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 Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Um, actually, we have already the Mule servers, guys. Maybe if your code, if your client demands or else business logic will demand, so you can add other plugins also like Tomcat or Logic. So there is a Docker also there. We can deploy our Mule services. We can deploy in Docker also. There is a Docker concept is there. We can deploy there also if required. So coming to here, how to add other servers or else other plugins or else Mule only other versions, right? How to add it? Even in the palette, so there is a palette contains all the components, right? I will show you the palette. So in the palette, if the suppose I want to work with a Facebook. Suppose Facebook by default it won't be there here in the palette. Right? I added that's why it's available, but in your case it won't be there. Suppose I want to work with a new connector that is not available in my palette. So palette means nothing but it's a whatever the built-in connectors, built-in transformers, built-in components, which is implemented by MuleSoft, all the things are available here. From the palette, you have to drag and drop into the canvas, guys. Okay. If the particular component is not available, suppose LinkedIn also I added, I guess. So if not there, what you need to do, whenever you search it, so there is exchange will come or else. So there is a way, one way to add it. You can click the exchange, you can add it, or else there is other way called go to help and install new software. Click the install new software. You can search here actually. So keep it all available websites, or else right now I want to add only runtime servers. Right? You can see two types of runtime servers. Just now we starting of the session we discussed about there is a community editions as well as runtime editions, right? You can see now. So community editions as well as runtime enterprise server, enterprise editions. Okay, you can see clearly. So suppose in my mission right now in my Anypoint Studio I can see 3.9, right? I want other servers also. Suppose there is a thing like this. The client have old project migration required from 3.5 to 3.9, right? So obviously we want to check the code. So for in your mission 3.5 also should be there, right? So select this and click next. It will try to ask the restart also, restart it. Whenever you successfully install it, will ask the restart. So click the restart button, it will restart your Anypoint Studio. So once it will restart, so then it will appear into the your palette, or else in your runtime version it will appear. Hope you guys are clear how to add the new plugins. So there is a way to add it. Other way is through Exchange. Exchange is also one of the product by MuleSoft. Okay, so when you will go for Exchange, actually, if you have an account, right, so you can create a trial account. So using the trial account, you can go and log into the Exchange. Okay, so for me, it doesn't ask any username and password, but in your case, first time it will ask the username and password. If you save it, it won't ask again. So there is a limited days also you can save it, or else permanently also. So it will go like this. Here you can search it actually, whatever the connector you want, you can search it, right? Accordingly, it will appear in the bottom. That connector you can double click it, you can install it. Hope you guys are clear. There are two ways you can add it, right? So require things to the palette. So any questions on this? So how to create a project? So I'm talking about server actually. So the purpose of server is once you done your application, you have to go and deploy into that. So here, this Anypoint Studio come up with Jetty server actually, right? You no need to, uh, I mean, in cloud, whatever you see that 3.9, 3.8, in cloud the servers are available, or else in on-premises setup you have to install it. But whereas when you are in a developing stage, when you are developing particular requirement, so you don't need to install, you don't need to deploy that into the particular server actually. So what these people did, there is a Anypoint Studio come up with a server called Jetty, Jetty. So this is a lightweight server, guys. So whenever you are trying to deploy your application, it will go and deploy into the Jetty server. Okay, so it will give the response whenever you request it through localhost actually. So that is happen. But in originally, when you are going to deploy into cloud, or else when you are going to deploy your on-premises, once you done your services, so then we have to deploy the 3.9 or else 4.0, whatever the servers, right? So we have to use that, we have to deploy it. But while in local environment, while you are in a developing point of view, so then it will go and deploy into Jetty server. That was the thing. So hope you guys are clear about Anypoint Studio version, and then runtime version, and then before that in your mission Java should be there. see, the next thing is, so once you create that server and all, so then we need to create a project, new new project. So using this Anypoint Studio, you can create different ways, different types of projects actually. Just now we discussed about Java as well as Mule. Apart from that, there is a domain project, Mule domain project. So the purpose of the Mule domain project is, suppose you're working for a client, so the client have a 10 projects, right? Each project, how will segregate it? So maybe a different way, based on the department, also based on the requirement, specific requirement, or based on the module you spread it, you can create a project, right? If you go and see, each project has some common configuration. Suppose your client have a only the backend, they are maintaining MySQL. For all applications, you created a 10 projects, 10 wheel projects, but they have only one backend, so that is nothing but a MySQL. Right? If you go and see, the configuration is same. The backend configuration, the MySQL connection configuration is same for 10 projects. Right? So if it is like that, whatever the common configuration across your projects, right? You can go and create a real domain project. So whatever the common things across all the projects, you can go and put into domain level actually. You know, so it's like a parent project. So in the child project, you can import that one. There is an option is there. So wherever the common changes or else common things, we have to do into the build domain project. So that will automatically reflect into your child projects. That is nothing but a normal wheel projects. So hope you guys are clear, the wheel domain project. So here is two things. One is, uh, so across the 10 projects, there is a common thing. So within a project, there is a common things. Two things here. Within a project, I have some common configuration, or else across all the projects, I have a common configuration. So if it is a within a project common configuration, or else common things, or else multiple times I want to use a reusability kind of thing. So you can put into the global elements. There is a concept called global elements, right? You have to define the global elements within a project I'm talking about. If it is across 10 projects, across all the projects, I have a common configuration. You can go and put into the Mule domain project. Okay, hope you guys are clear with the difference. I'm trying to create a new project now. So I'm just giving first day. I'm just choosing by default 3.9.0 guys. If you want whatever the version, you can just click it accordingly, you can create it. So first day, and then I'm just ignoring all the options guys. Use Maven, add API kit components, all I'm just ignoring as it is with whatever the by default options are there. I'm just choosing, right? I'm just ignoring all these things. So you can see in the future when you go for use Maven, when you go for add API kit components, we'll see clearly. As of now, I'm just ignoring that so default things. I'm just clicking next, and then here. So here you can see the Java version guys. I told you, right? Before Java should be there, right? Otherwise, you can get an error. And then one more thing actually, whatever the components here you can see in the palette. So just now we showed the palette, right? Clear palette. So each and every component built by using Java only. Okay. So the component compilation and its component execution, right? So the Java is required. So that's why here you can see in the next window, you can see clearly Java environment, whatever version you are using, so that particular version it will reflect here. So the next one is click next with the default options, and then click again finish. Okay, so you can see the structure of the project, guys. We'll go through the structure. What are all the parts in the uh, project, first day project? You can see this. This is a once you've done the project, it will available in the package explorer. This is a part of the package explorer, guys. We'll go through this. What are the parts in any points today parallelly? So here there is a first day. You can see in the project name and the package explorer. Even Eclipse also same thing. There is a package explorer. The package explorer you can see clear the project name and all. So first thing is SRC main app. So they segregated clearly whatever the things where you need to keep it, right? So logic where it is, and then supporting content where you put it, and then embedded thing where you put it. So supporting jars where you need to put it. So like that they will clearly segregate it. So first package, first folder name that is nothing but a SRC main app. So within the bracket flows, FLOWS flows. So coming to the flows, flow is nothing but a combination of message process, guys. Flow is nothing but a combination of message process. Message process is nothing but so each and every component in the palette, right? You can see the palette now here. So each of every component in the palette, maybe it's a transformer, maybe it's a Java component, maybe it's a some other validation component, whatever it is. It's nothing but a message processor, right? So the flow is nothing but a combination of message process. So here we can drag and drop things. We can create a flows, right? We can create a combination of message process. So that is nothing but a flow, right? Flow is nothing but uh, a meaningful functionality of a requirement, you can say, right? So that is nothing but a flow. You can see this first day.xml. So nothing is there. Just by default created that any point studio. So now we have to start drag and drop things. So before going to that, so SRC main app in the bracket, you can see the flows. Why they put that flows in the bracket? So here we need to implement all the flows. That is the one thing. And the other reason is in earlier, like old versions, 3.0 and old versions, so there is no folder called SRC main app. There is a folder called flows, FLOWS flows. Okay. So whoever implemented, whoever worked on the old versions, so for that purpose, they won't get confused. Right? So where is the flows kind of thing. So for avoiding such kind of confusion, so they put in the bracket clearly flows. Hope you guys are clear. The earlier name of the app folder name is it's a flows, right? So whoever working on the earlier versions, so maybe they seen the folder name called flows. So that's why in the bracket they put it clearly flows. All the flows we have to keep into the under SRC main app. Okay. So apart from that XML file, so you can see this mule app.properties, mule deploy.properties also. So we'll see that use of the properties files and all. So but first thing is in the app folder we have to create a flows and all. So then we can drag and drop the things here. So first we'll drag and drop the HTTP connector. So this is nothing but a listener, guys. Okay. So in the listener, uh, it's a uh, this HTTP component will act as a two ways actually. You can see clearly the arrows also inside. There is a forward and backward. So means once you write some logic and all, once you execute your code, it will come back and it will give the response. That's the meaning of this, right? It will take the request. Once you perform the logic, it will get back the response. You can see the clear arrow, get back the response, right, to a direction. And then this HTTP will act as both inbound connector as well as outbound connector. So inbound connector in the sense, so so inbound connector in the sense, whoever taking the request, right, whatever the component taking the request, because here, so we are implementing REST APIs, right? So we are exposing our service or else we are publishing our services. So somebody is trying to consume it. Whenever they are trying to consume it, so how they will consume? So based on your HTTP listener, is the starting point of your flow, right? Or else your API. So This is nothing but inbound actually, right? You can see clearly in the flow, there is a segregation. There is a dotted line, you can see clearly. So from the dotted line, whatever your things you drag and drop in the left side, so that is nothing but inbound connector. After the drag and drop the line, so what are the things you are drag and drop it? That is nothing but a process actually. This is the input phase, this is a process phase. Okay. Hope you guys are clear. So the inbound connector is nothing but before the data line input it, starting location. That is nothing but an inbound connector. Maybe it's a file, maybe it's a HTTP, maybe it's a some other component, right? Whatever it will support that inbound connector. So all the inbound connectors, like a JMS component, right? You can drag and drop into the before the dotted line. That is nothing but it treat as an inbound connector. Whoever consuming our request, the consumer will call that our API through that inbound connector. Okay, hope you guys are clear. So this is a way to create a flows, guys. I'm just saving this. So whenever you done this, drag and drop the thing, you can see the backend. Uh, the code is automatically generated in the XML view. Okay, so you can see here in the message flow, this is nothing but a canvas, guys. I'll just explain the parts also parallelly. So this is nothing but a canvas, this is nothing but a palette. Okay, so from the palette you can drag and drop the things. So you can search it, whatever the required connector or else transformer, you can search there. Accordingly you can drag and drop it into the canvas. This white space is nothing but a canvas. In the canvas, again, there are three parts are there: message flow, and again global elements, and again configuration XML. So the message flow is nothing but what are the components we are seeing in the design view. So that is nothing but a message flow. The second one is global element. So just now we spoke about the common configuration, common things in the particular project. Suppose, so the first day is my project. So in my project there is some common configuration across the flows. So we can implement multiple flows, right, within a project. So each and every flow there is some common configuration is there. I don't want to define multiple times. So one time I will define it, I can reuse it, right? So that kind of things we can create under global elements. There is a create button clearly. You can create it, you can add accordingly. It will reuse it. Okay, that is nothing but a global elements. So next one is configuration XML. So configuration XML is nothing but, so whenever you drag and drop the things, right, into the palette, so into the canvas, so then automatically it will add that XML code also. Okay, so in a starting, I mean in a basic level or else starting time, you can use this drag and drop feature. In advanced level, so you can use the configuration XML directly. You can implement the code like this also, so through XML. If you are familiar with XML, it will be the supports and all, actually suggestions and all like this. You can create the project. You can play with this. Create the flows and all using XML view also. You can avoid that once you are familiar with all the components and all. So then you can go into the back end or the configuration side. You can directly write the code like this. Okay, so hope you guys are clear. So that is about three parts in the canvas: message flow, there's a designing view, global elements. So these were common configuration like database connection or else HTTP configuration. All these things you can add it here, and then configuration XML. So configuration XML is nothing but XML view. So we can write the code directly into the XML view also. Some of the IDEs, suppose this I'm using a IDE called Anypoint Studio, then drag and drop things will support it. Think like this: some of the clients they don't want to use this Anypoint Studio, they want to use some other IDEs, so which is not supported. Drag and drop the things. That time, what we need to do? So then we don't have any other option. So we have to go for configuration XML. So we can write the code in XML view. Right? Like there is a tool called IntelliJ. So most of the people will use this Anypoint Studio only. In most cases, some of the UK clients actually, so they have their own IDEs. like IntelliJ. IntelliJ is one of the IDE, right? So then, so that doesn't contain any drag and drop thing. So we have to write the code in the XML view only. So that's why once you people are familiar with this drag and drop thing, so try to work on XML view also. Okay, so that is about Canvas. I'm coming to the bottom, so there is a console. You can see the clear console. So if you want to see the palette also, we'll just quickly explain this. So here we can see the segregation also, guys. Right side, the palette, I just open the palette. On the right side, you can see clear segregation. There is a components, there is a transformers, there is a filters. So like this clearly it is segregated. Whatever the components you want, just click that and then accordingly it will show us and it will search for that. Okay, so we'll see this all the most of the frequently used components we'll discuss. So some of the connectors, some of the components, some of the transformers, we'll look into it and we'll see that. So the next one is there is a console, guys, in the bottom. You can see the problems and console mail properties. The console, once you deploy a code, so the server logs will display it, or else whatever you put the loggers in the code, the logger information, console logger information will display on this console, guys. Right? The loggers information, or else by default server logs will be there. No? But server logs will display on the console also. Right? That is about console. That is coming to problems. What are the problems are there in your project that will reflect here? I didn't configure that HTTP component here, so that's why it was asking is a mandate. It was asking that to create it. One second, guys. Okay, sorry guys, sorry for that. And then here you can put some path here. You can see the HTTP configuration by default. It's a local host. You can put 000 also, and then just clicking OK. You can put some path. It's a path actually. You can keep it anything. Just just saving. So the error gone here. So because this is a mandatory fields, it was missing. That's why it was asking. Okay, so if any problems, you can see it here. And then there's a Mule properties. And then you can see left side also, you can see the project name and all with connectors, whatever the connectors are available, it will display here. So this is a overall AnyPoint Studio, guys. AnyPoint Studio parts. You can see it here. There is a two perspectives here. We can switch it. Now I'm in a Mule design view. If you want to go debug view, so we switch it accordingly. whenever you are selected. Or else if you are running in a debug mode, it will ask automatically. So there is a pop-up will come, ask to click open in a debug view, and whenever you click OK, it will open it. Okay. So then, so that's all today. So tomorrow we'll see the structure of the remaining things. So there is a just now we discussed about only app folder, right? We'll see other folders also. What are all the usages of other folders, and then we'll execute small hello world program kind of thing, and then I will explain you how to debug it, how to run it, where it will run it. So where you need to see the um, debug whenever you are trying to debug it, where you need to see on fly the things, right? What data we are getting, what data we are going to push into next level, so we can see all the things. Okay. So before going to wind up the session, so if you have any questions, we'll discuss next. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Santosh. Santosh, I'm not able to hear your voice. Santosh, you are speaking. Please type the question in chat. Hello. Maybe Santosh went to offline. Guys, any other questions? Brahma and Chandra, do you have any questions?
No, sir, we are fine.
Okay, good. I will share the recording session. This recording session, go through it. If you have any questions, we'll discuss tomorrow. So that's all today.
Okay.
So we'll meet tomorrow, same time. I will share the ID every day before the session, guys. If you're not able to get it, just ping me in WhatsApp. I will share it. Okay. Thanks, guys. So we'll meet tomorrow.
Thanks.